In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the best types of silver and some of the worst types of silver you should be stacking while premiums and silver prices are low. So what is stacking? For those of you who don't know, stacking is literally the acquisition, and in this case for silver, physical stacking of silver, whether it be rounds, bars, whatever it is. But there are good ways and bad ways to go about it, especially with today's low premiums on silver, as well as the low spot price. Because right now, there are a lot of hot commodities out there. Gold is incredibly hot right now, hitting all-time highs. Cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, are incredibly hot right now. Not many people are talking about silver. This is what's being ignored right now, which is why I'm excited to be stacking silver. So let's get into some of the best and some of the worst silver you could be stacking today. My channel is sponsored by SDBullion.com. New customers can get their first order of gold or silver at spot by going to SDBullion.com/new. So I want to do it a bit different by starting off with one of the worst things that you can be stacking today. Now keep in mind, I emphasize the word stacking because remember, silver stacking is the acquisition of silver. You're stacking it up, you're making stacks of silver. But when you're buying a lot of high premium silver coins like these right here on the screen, you are actually stacking less silver for the money that you have available to put into silver. So a good example is these koalas right here. They go for $8 or $9 over spot on average. Pandas, which by the way are not even a full ounce anymore, they started becoming 30 grams in 2016. You're actually missing over a gram of silver, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I assure you it adds up quick. Anyway, you are paying a much higher premium for these than you are a generic buffalo round. A good example is this wedge-tailed eagle right here. These go for around $50 an ounce in a 70 slab, and this one is graded PF70. That means you would pay probably around 250 bucks. You might find the deal, but on average around 250 bucks for 5 ounces of silver. For that same money, you can get almost 10 1-ounce silver rounds. So you're stacking less silver when you're buying things like this. Now, one thing I'll say here is that doesn't necessarily mean avoid this stuff completely, because let's be honest, silver is one of, in my opinion, is the most beautiful precious metal in existence. So it's really nice to see what they can do with this precious metal and the designs that they can do with just the different shading and the way they strike the coins. I mean, this nine-tailed fox right here is absolutely gorgeous. It has a really high premium. They go for like $45 an ounce, but it's a gorgeous coin. So if you are into stuff like this, if you want to have conversation starters, things that you can show people, absolutely don't be afraid to pick up things like this, but don't stack it. Don't buy 10 of these nine-tailed foxes. You're paying 450 bucks. Buy one, add it to your collection, and then use the rest of the 450 that you were going to spend on low premium silver, which we're going to get into in a minute. But yes, don't necessarily completely avoid these, but do not stack them. If you buy more than like one or even two of each, maybe if you really like something, but if you buy a bunch of this stuff, you really are spending a lot more money on silver that you could just be getting more silver with. Now, the next thing I'm going to bring up is American Silver Eagles, and this could be controversial to some. I personally love American Silver Eagles. Now, back last year, March, April, May, June-ish of 2023, the premiums on 1-ounce Silver Eagles were so high that I could not recommend them. In fact, to be honest with you, I went a couple of years without adding Silver Eagles to my stack. But right now, the premiums on Silver Eagles have came back down to almost where they were pre-COVID, pre-Silver Squeeze, which is great because one thing I'll tell you about Silver Eagles is last year when those premiums were 16, 17, 18, even as high as $20 an ounce over spot, people were still buying them. So being able to buy Silver Eagles, even though you're going to pay more than our aforementioned 1-ounce generic silver rounds that we're going to get into in a minute, even though you're paying more on those, when the demand for physical silver increases. I'm not talking about what's on the COMEX. I'm not talking about your paper silver price. But when, let's say we have some more bank failures and the demand for silver increases, everybody rushes in the Silver Eagles. And so there becomes an opportunity when the premiums get sky high on Silver Eagles, you will see retailers buying these back for way, way, way higher than what you can get them for today. A good example is, and I don't remember the exact month, but last year there was a point where SD Bullion was paying like $14 an ounce. Don't quote me on it. Maybe it was 12, but they were paying 10, 11, 12, 13, $14 an ounce over spot. That's what the dealers were paying. So when the demand for physical silver goes up, Silver Eagles present a very unique opportunity to arbitrage into more silver. And what I mean by that is at the time, you could sell these back to a retailer for 12, 13 over spot. Then you could go out and buy silver rounds for 4, 5 over spot. If you found deals at 3 over spot at the time, you were actually able to turn your silver into more silver by moving those Eagles in that high premium into lower premium silver. And then now that the premiums are lower, there is even an opportunity to move back that way. So I'm not saying do everything with Silver Eagles, but I personally am very excited about Silver Eagles this year. I've already covered it a couple of times on the channel already this year. Silver Eagles, in my opinion, anytime you can find deals on Eagles around 4 over spot or under, definitely worth picking up, because the demand for these, when demand for silver increases, especially physical silver, Silver Eagles always seem to be the first thing that people flock to. And so it's always good to have Silver Eagles in your stack. So I do absolutely love stacking Silver Eagles today. So the next type of silver I'm really excited about right now with low prices and premiums being down is your sovereign low premium sovereign silver. So for example, your Great Britain Britannias, I love these because of their security features. You have this trident down right here, which is very hard to replicate. You have the very minor text around the rim next to Britannia here. You have the wavy pattern in the background. There are a ton of security features on this coin that make it incredibly hard to fake. You also have your Australian kangaroos, South African cougarans, your Canadian maple leafs, and there's so many more. And the beauty of these right now is that you can find really great deals on these. I have recently seen deals on maple leafs for $1.50 over spot. That's a special, of course, but even average pricing is between $2 and $2.50. You can find very good deals on these. Same goes for Britannias. I have seen multiple times where Britannias were on sale for just $1.99 over spot. So very great silver to pick up. It's backed by a nation, for example, South Africa or Australia or Great Britain or Canada. It has a very specific thickness, diameter, and weight, making it easy to test. The security features are great as well. And with the low premiums, you can add a lot of silver to your stack for a very low amount over spot. And this is a really good way to go about that. I love low premium sovereigns in today's market. Let me know down in the comments if you guys like sovereign silver as well, but it's not the only thing I'm really excited about. Let's keep going, because I have another type of silver that I am definitely stacking more of right now. The next type of silver I want to talk about is definitely 90%, also known as constitutional, or to some people, junk silver. Now this is your dimes, quarters, and half dollars minted in the US 1964 and earlier. They contained 90% silver and 10% copper. Now the beauty of these is silver being very divisible is already divided up here, and 90% silver has a very universal amount of silver per dollar. So for example, 2 half dollars have 0.715 ounces of silver troy if you were to melt it down, refine it, and remove the copper, but so does 1 half dollar and 2 quarters, or 2 quarters and 5 dimes, or 1 half dollar and 5 dimes. However you get to a dollar face value, at the end of that dollar, you still have roughly the same amount of silver. The reason I say roughly is because there are situations where very heavily circulated coins, like this one right here, obviously have lost a little bit of their metal over time. Now, when these were originally minted, it was actually 0.723 ounces. 0.715 is used as the industry standard to account for that wear. So you actually, with really nice coins like this, you actually may have more than 0.715 ounces per dollar, but 0.715 is generally how it is done. Now, the beauty of 90% silver is, with this already being divisible and with the premiums coming down, a lot of preppers, people that are into prepping, you know, for end times, if you will, love to have divisible silver already divided, because while you might go to a grocery store and need to get a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk, 1 ounce of silver might be a little bit too much for that. But a half dollar or a quarter and a dime, however you add it up, that may be a little bit more reasonable as far as an exchange rate. So you already have that divided up without having to cut up your 1 ounce silver rounds. Now, without a doubt, my favorite thing to be stacking right now with low premiums, and I'm going to tell you why, is going to be generic silver. Now, whether it be 1 ounce silver rounds like these Buffaloes or Sunshine rounds right here, or 1 ounce silver bars or 10 ounce silver bars, whatever it may be, silver premiums have definitely been coming down on generic silver because, like I said earlier, silver is not very hot right now. Gold's hot, Bitcoin's hot, silver's not very hot, and so the demand for it is down, and you are starting to see lowering premiums, and it is really showing with generic silver. Now, granted, if you were to go to your random online dealer and look up and see what you can get some rounds for, you might still see $250 an ounce over spot. But every single week for the last couple of months, I have seen specials on 1 ounce silver rounds, 1 ounce silver bars. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we had 1 ounce silver rounds as low as 79 cents an ounce over spot. I think even this week, there is a deal on 1 ounce silver bars as low as 89 cents an ounce over spot if you buy them in quantity, a little bit more if you buy just a few. But my point is that the deals are there. The low premiums are there if you look for them. And 1 ounce generic silver, far and away, if you're looking to get the most silver for your money, this is the best way to go. And just as a show, for example, let's say you have just enough money in your pocket that you can buy, 4 Silver Eagles or 5 silver rounds. Are you going to walk out with 4 ounces of silver or 5 ounces of silver? Now, I said already that I do like Eagles and other slightly higher premium stuff, no doubt, because of the reasons I said. For example, with the premiums on Eagles going up when there's high demand. But overall, if you're looking to get the most silver for your money, there's no better way to go about it than generic silver. One thing I will warn you about with generic silver is make sure you know where you are getting it from, and it's a reputable source that has a way to test their silver, because there is a lot of fake silver out there. And as things turn around, when silver starts getting popular again, you will see more silver fakes coming out of the woodwork. So make sure you're getting them from a reputable source or have a way to test them yourself. For 1 ounce silver rounds, I recommend the Pocket Pinger. I will put a link for a video down below where I actually reviewed this thing. It's not good for bars. It's not good for 10 ounce bars or 1 ounce bars, but for silver rounds and sovereign silver like Eagles, the Pocket Pinger is a great way, a cheap way to test at home. So I will put a link for that down below if you want to check it out. But either way you go about it, regardless of if you have a way to test or not, just make sure you're getting your silver from a reputable source so you don't really have to worry about it. But absolutely, generic silver is a great way to go in today's market. And that is it, guys. So do me a favor, let me know down below what you're doing with stacking silver. Are you doing generics? Are you doing semi-numies? Are you doing sovereigns? Are you doing 90%? I would love to know, so leave me a comment down below. Do me a favor, don't forget to subscribe. And the next thing you should do, by the way, is watch this video right here, because I secret shopped a coin shop in Dubuque, Iowa. It was a great video, and if you guys want to see some cool content, that's the next thing you should watch. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.